Look at that building in the distance. That just lights up. Bet you those people are getting annoyed with me. Hey friends, welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge. And yes, we've got a flashlight video today. I haven't been doing flashlight videos for a while. I decided about a year ago not to do flashlight videos anymore. I got an email in, I think it was early December, might have been November, from a company called CyanSky asking me if I'd like to have one of their flashlights. I didn't pay attention to the subject line. The subject line said to review. Nothing in the email itself talked about to review. They just asked if I wanted to have one. And I've had those kinds of things before where companies send me stuff and they want to get my opinion on it, feedback on the item, and they're not actually asking for a review. And I wrongly assumed that these guys didn't want a review, but they want a review. So I got to remain true to, the agreement that we've sort of implicitly made, even though it wasn't super explicit. We're going to take a look at the K3 version 2 by CyanSky. Now this is sort of almost exclusively sort of a tactical police kind of flashlight, search and rescue kind of thing, because it's got a 2000 lumen max, but it's got a 5-degree beam. The main beam is quite narrow and shoots for a long distance. So, it doesn't pay attention to distracting stuff around. It's very focused. It's also got other things on it too. If you're curious about this flashlight, maybe you want to stick around and watch this. Let's get at it. As we get started, I'll let you know I'm going to use some of the graphics, details, information from the CyanSky website, so I don't have to recreate all those, statistical details and all that stuff. What do you get in the package? Well, you get the flashlight. It says CyanSky K3 on there, and then other details back over here. Comes with the pocket clip pre-installed. This is a 40 millimeter head. Whatever that is in inches is on the screen right there. Length, that's on the screen right there too. Weight, about 207 grams, about 7.3 ounces. That's including the battery. You get this 21700 battery, 5000 milliamp hours, and you can charge it in a traditional charger as long as it fits, or you've got a USB-C port there. You do get a USB-C cable with it, although by now most people should have one of these. It's not a data cable, it's just a charging cable. There's a little LED on the end of it right there. You can see that black dot. So when you're charging, it'll tell you with that light, when it's done charging or not. Otherwise, you have to rely on your charger to tell you when it's done. Now, you can get accessories for this. One of the accessories you can get is a plastic sleeve that you can stick in here, and then you can use two CR123A batteries, or you can use two 16340 lithium-ion batteries. So you're not stuck with this 21700 if you think you can't get these very easily. They're not that hard to get. Of course, 18650s are ubiquitous, but 21700s aren't that terribly uncommon. But you can certainly find CR123A batteries in most places where you can get lithium-ion batteries. So you've got another option. It just won't be about 5000 milliamp hours. It'll be a little bit less. You can look in there. I guess I can't get the light quite right in there to see the bottom. It's gold-plated. The spring here is gold-plated. That's gold-plated in there. And put the positive end in first. The threads are slightly lubricated from the factory. There's one O-ring there. As a tactical, I wish there was two O-rings. It would give it a better IP rating. By the way, the IP rating is 1.68, which means it's pretty much dust-proof, rain-proof, splash-proof, and shallow dunk-proof. They say up to 2 meters, or roughly 2 yards, whatever. It can sit in water for a while. But, it's not really designed to be immersed for a long period of time or very deep. But it's pretty much water resistant, pretty much waterproof in most user scenarios. That's that part. We've got a tail switch on it. That's the on-off, and that's the mode. We'll talk more about that in a minute. I showed you the cable already. You also have a lanyard that comes with it, with the slider, so you can put it around your wrist, and then, snug it up to make it less likely for it to come off. And you got loops, holes right here on the end that you can tie it onto if you want to. That's nice. You have this sort of Cordura sheath, and goes in, Velcro flap holds it shut, and there you go. This is not very tactical. Yeah, that's going to tell everybody exactly where you are, but it's a fairly decent, kind of sheath, but nothing super special here at all, but at least they give you something. And they give you a couple spare parts. You've got a spare pair of O-rings, so that's good to have. And you've got a spare cap for the end right here for the switch. So that's good to have. What's the price on this thing? Well, you can buy it directly from CyanSky's website, and they ship most places, but in US dollars, $84.95 US for the version 2. There is, of course, an original version. It's only 1600 lumens and might have some other different specs too. K3 version 2, basically 85 US bucks. I've got a link for AliExpress for this, which is about $87.75. No shipping charge for that, so you can get it that way. Canadian price, $122.46. There's that. So in other countries, those links should work for those other countries as well. The AliExpress link is a referral link, so hopefully that earns me a little bit of, a commission if you use that. If I can find it on Amazon, I'll leave Amazon links down below too. Those also earn me a little bit of a commission, so thank you for using my links, my referral links. But what do we have in here for the specs? Well, we've got a very long throw and smooth mirror there. The LED is a luminous SFT-40-W. The SFT-40 is pretty good, and so I don't have any qualms with that LED, but I'm not claiming to be a flashlight specialist. I've had lots of flashlights. I've used a lot of them. I'm quite familiar with them, but I'm not a flashlight expert per se. Aircraft grade aluminum, 6061-T6 aircraft aluminum, which is quite nice. The focal beam on this thing is, 5 degrees, which is quite narrow, so the light coming out just between my fingers there. But then there's a 70-degree sub beam, like a sort of a flood kind of, not as much lumens, of course. The focus of everything is right down the middle. The very long throw, up to 700 meters. That's almost 2,300 feet. So that's a pretty good long throw. As you saw a little bit in the introduction, it goes quite well, and we'll show you more outdoor video a little bit later on. The beams, what different light outputs does it have? Well, it's got 4 standard outputs, but it's also got an eco mode ahead of that, and it's got a strobe mode after that. Now, to get to the eco mode, well, there's instructions, because there's an instruction booklet too. There's the instructions. They're very simple and straightforward. This is an easy to operate light, which is exactly what you want on a tactical light. You don't want, in an emergency situation, have to learn how to use your flashlight again. Basically, a tail switch turns it on and off, so that's quite good. And the mode switch changes the modes. That's the standard modes. It does have memory, so if I turn it off, turn it back on, it's got memory. It also has just a light push, so if you just push it in a little bit and let go, the light's, temporarily on. So you've got a two-way switch back here, which is quite good. There are accessories. You can get remote switches on it. They've got like 4 different gun mounts on it, so you can mount it on a gun and use the remote switch so that you can use your thumb or whatever as you're gripping the gun. You don't have to get your finger away from the trigger in order to use a flashlight on and off, so that's a good thing about this. Accessories on it, so that's nice. The lumens and options and everything for this, I'll put it on the screen and I'll just read part of it for you. Eco mode, 2 lumens. The strobe is 2000 lumens, turbo is 2000 lumens, high is 450, medium is 150, and low is 30 lumens. And you can see the run times in there, the distance throw, the candela intensity and everything. So yeah, that's pretty good. One extra thing on here that I didn't talk about yet, see these little dots right there? There's 3 of them. Those are zirconium, which is quite hard, and that's a glass breaker. So while it's in your hand, you can smash through glass because those points will contact and create fractures in the glass. It can tail stand. Whoop, I don't have a smooth surface here. This is kind of rough. It just barely wants to actually turn it on. When it's turned on, it'll tail stand. When it's off, it sticks out just a little bit too much and doesn't want to quite stand. So when it's on, you can make it tail stand. Not super stable though. I would have liked if they would have made it a little bit more so you could tail stand it better. So there you go. How do you get to eco mode? Well, you press both the tail switch and the mode switch at the same time, and you've got the 2 lumens. 2 lumens does have some case uses, especially, let's say you get lost and stuff. You don't want to use up your light all night long, but, for your own mental well-being, a little bit of light goes a long ways to making you feel better. And, you can even read in the dark, even under all these bright lights, you can see what 2 lumens can do to provide light. So 2 lumens and all the way up. The strobe, I'm going to turn the strobe on now, so if flashing bothers you, skip forward. Let's turn it on. And the strobe has got 2 modes to it. It's got fast flash and slow flash, and it alternates back and forth and back and forth. So let's hold that in. There you go. And then it slows down, and it speeds up, and then it slows down. So that's what you got. Let's show you some more of the video outside, how it looks. There's a train in the background, but I don't want to wait for it. Check that out. That's quite a distance out there. All right, let's try it over here. That's on the turbo. Just look at that light going way down there. That's the low. If I go over there, you can't even see it. You can see how it, right in the middle, almost the middle, brightens up a little bit. Go up one. That's quite a long ways. Go up another one. And then the 2000. Yeah, that's pretty stinking bright and goes pretty long distance. Turn around, opposite direction. Clearly there's some light pollution, but there we go. That's the low, medium, and the high, and then the turbo. Look at that building in the distance. That just lights up. Bet you those people are getting annoyed with me. That's pretty much my overview of the CyanSky K3. Is it worth it? Probably. If you want, one of those narrow beam far throw, it's not too terribly heavy and it's convenient. You can carry it just with your pocket clip if you want to. The pocket clip's actually quite good. The cooling on it, yes, there's thermal protection on there. If it gets too hot, it drops down in the output a little bit. I like that you can charge the battery with or without, a traditional battery charger. Almost everybody's got USB-C, so, that works just fine. So yeah, it's a pretty nice flashlight. Are you going to get one? Do you have one? Do you have maybe the original K3? Do you have any other CyanSky flashlights? Let us know down below. By the way, the warranty on here is pretty good. Here's on the screen what the warranty is on it. Of course, there's replacement times, but then there's a lifetime repair warranty where you just pay for the parts. I assume you also pay for shipping, but it wasn't super clear on there. So yeah, so that's it. The CyanSky K3. If that's what you're in the market for, links are below, like I said. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And until next time, have a good one.